Have you ever felt a room grow quiet and turn toward you, and known, with a drop in your stomach, that they were waiting for you to say which way to go, and that you had no idea? I have carried heavier things than fire. The heaviest was the trust of people who thought I knew the way. I was still an apprentice, half-taught, still afraid of the dark myself when it began to happen in the druidic village below the academy. A bad season had come. The harvest was thin, an old well had soured, and a superstition of fear had settled over the lanes like a low fog. The people wanted someone to tell them it would be well, and for reasons I did not choose and could not stop, they began to turn to me. At the well, at the door of the hall, in the lane at dusk. "Warden, what should we do?" As if the brown cloak of an apprentice were an answer, as if being near the fire meant I could command it. I was horrified. I want to be honest about that. It was not pride I felt, not the warm swell of importance. It was terror, because I knew exactly how little I knew. And now a whole village was leaning its weight on that emptiness, and I was certain, absolutely certain, that if they followed me, I would lead them wrong. The first to turn to me was a young woman named Vetra. She was of the village, ginger-haired, the color of a kept coal, with the wind always in her the way it is in some people, restless and warm. She had no more reason to trust me than the others. Less, perhaps. She knew me. She had seen me flinch at the dark. And she turned to me anyway, before the others, before I had earned a single thing. When the fear was thickest at the well and no one would move, it was Vetra who looked at me, not with certainty that I was right, but with a stubborn, deciding kind of trust, as if she had chosen to believe in me on purpose, knowing it was a risk. And the others, seeing her turned too. That is a terrible gift to be given when you do not feel you deserve it. Her trust was the one thing in the whole village I could not bear to betray, and so it became the exact weight I could not put down. I went to Eeskar in something close to a panic. "They think I know the way," I told him. "I don't. I am an apprentice. If I lead them, I will lead them into the dark because I am in the dark. You have to let me tell them the truth, that they should follow someone worthy, someone who is sure." I remember I was almost angry. I wanted him to release me from it. I wanted him to agree that a man who is not certain has no business at the front. Eeskar looked at me for a long moment. And then he asked me the question that took my whole argument apart. "Do you think," he said, "that I was ever certain?" I opened my mouth and found nothing in it. Of course I had thought so. I had built my entire idea of a leader on the belief that men like Eeskar simply knew that certainty was the thing that set them at the front, that they walked ahead because they could see the road. "I have been afraid at the front of every important thing I ever did," he said. "The difference between me and the ones who stayed in the crowd was never that I was sure. It was that I was willing to be afraid out loud in front where they could see me take the step." He rose and went to the window, to the fog-dimmed village below. "You have misunderstood what they are asking you," he said. "They are not asking you to be right. They have never once in the history of the world been able to tell in advance who was right. They are asking you to be willing. to walk into the unlit lane first, not because you can see the end of it, but so that they can see that it can be walked at all. A leader is not the one with the map. A leader is the one who agrees to take the first step into the dark and lets the others watch him do it afraid. Your emptiness, he said, and here something almost gentle came into his cold voice, is not the disqualification you think it is. It is the very thing they need to see survive. If you cross the dark unsure and live, you have taught them the only thing worth teaching, that unsure is not the same as unable. I went back down to the village at dusk. I did not go down with a plan. I want you to understand that. I had no cure for the well, no charm for the harvest, no borrowed certainty painted over my fear. I went down with nothing but the willingness Eeskar had named. They gathered in the lane, the one that ran out past the last house toward the dark fields, the lane no one had wanted to walk since the fear came. They looked at me. Vetra stood near the front, her chin up, that stubborn trust still burning, waiting to see whether she had been a fool to spend it on me. And I told them the truth. I don't know the way, I said. My voice shook, and I let it. I am not sure. I am afraid of that dark exactly as you are. But I will walk it first, and we will find the way together, because it is found by walking, not by knowing. Then I turned, and I stepped into the unlit lane. One apprentice, no torch of certainty, only a small real light and a large real fear, and I walked out into the dark ahead of them. For 3 steps, nothing, just my own breath and the cold. And then I heard it. Behind me, a footfall, Vetra, and behind her, another and another and another, the whole village coming into the lane, not because I had convinced them it was safe, but because they had seen a frightened man go first, and it had given them permission to be brave in exactly the way he was, unsure and moving anyway. We found the way that night. It does not matter now what it was. A spring for the well, a plan for the fields, the small mechanics are lost. What steadied the village was never the answer. It was the sight of someone willing to look for it out loud, in front, afraid. I am old now, and I have led many people through many kinds of dark. I have never once done it certain. Not one single time. I have only ever done it willing, and I have learned that the two are almost always mistaken for each other by everyone except the one at the front. Listen, someone is turning toward you, perhaps a whole room full, perhaps only one, a child, a team, a friend in the worst week of their life. A person somewhere is quietly deciding to look to you for which way to go. And the drop in your stomach is telling you the same lie it told me. You have no business at the front because you are not sure. But they were never asking for your certainty. They cannot even recognize it. No one can. They are asking for your willingness. They need to watch one person walk into the unlit thing afraid and survive it, so that they can believe their own fear is not a wall. So this week, one step. Find the lane you have been waiting to feel sure about before you enter it. The conversation, the apology, the new road, the leading you have refused because you thought a leader must first be certain. And go first, not sure, not ready, but willing and out loud. Let them see you afraid and moving. It is the most generous thing a frightened person can do. There will be a Vetra. There always is. The one who trusts first before you have earned it and hands you the weight you cannot put down. Do not waste that trust waiting to deserve it. Spend it by walking. Eeskar's law was the sixth he gave me in a village that taught me what a fire is for. They do not follow the one who is certain. They follow the one willing to walk first and to be seen unsure. The fire burns low now. That is not an ending, only the hour between lessons. Take what was said tonight and put it somewhere you will find it again. And if you would sit with us next time, subscribe and pull up a chair.